Welcome, my friends. Today's topic is what is always here. I wanted to talk a little bit about our vision of ourselves and how we fit into the universe and the miracle of us being here right now and the everyday of how we are always here.
This is either madness or brilliance.
It's remarkable how often those two traits coincide.
My name is Paul, and this is Path of Ascension. So I recognize that was a confusing intro. I think what it is and what I'm trying to get to, what I'd like to talk about today is really about, we have this vision of ourselves, and it's so locked in by our past and by our memories and by the ways that we think about ourselves and who we think we are, and our sort of outward projected ego, or our sort of roles that we play in the world. And that is so surface level compared to who we really are, but that seems to be where we spend most of our time. So I was thinking the other day about how, it's kind of amazing when you look at your life and you think, how am I here right now out of all the billions of years in the universe, and I'm here at this exact moment. And that doesn't really make that much sense unless you recognize that there is something that's part of you that is always here. And that may come back in a different form, it may come back in a different time, but it's still you, and it's still part of the whole, and it is part of the universe. And it constantly is evolving and expanding.
Why are you being so weird?
I don't know. Maybe the fact that I was trapped for 2 years inside of a monster made me a little weird.
When you came into this world, you didn't know what kind of life you were going to live. You didn't know what kind of experiences you were going to face, what kind of challenges, what kind of... you had no idea of what was in front of you. And your job as a young kid and through being a toddler was just to experience these things and learn. At some point, of course, you click over and you start becoming self-conscious and you start building stories for yourself. But the truth is, your job is still to experience things and learn. And why we make it more difficult than that, I'm not really sure. Except to say that you look around the world and you say, well, you develop fear. Well, somebody had this horrible experience. You have to consider that we all have had difficult and horrible experiences, as well as great and beautiful experiences. Some people have had really horrendous experiences, and you have to recognize, they're part of the whole too. They basically took one for the team, because if the idea of this is to experience as much as possible and constantly be evolving and growing and learning, you got to give them props for the horrible things that they experience. And you may have had to do so in a prior life. You may have to do so in the next life, or yours may be entirely different. So this is, I think, a lot more important than we're giving credit to, because we look at our daily lives as what's important. Well, this deadline at work, or this particular video I have to make, or this piece of music I'm working on.
Teddy, is there something different about these pants?
Different from what?
Every time I wear that suit, I mean every time, I put both my legs into one side of the pants.
One side of the pants.
I stand up, I put one leg into one side, and then I take my other leg, and I'm certainly aiming for the other side of the pants, but I get stuck, and I'm asking if there's something not so much wrong, but different about those pants.
You can't put your pants on and you think there's something wrong with the pants?
All right, get out.
These things are really not the bottom line to expanding the consciousness of the collective and evolving in the universe. So what is it that keeps us from just learning and growing like we're supposed to, and evolving? Why do we attach ourselves to things? Why do we label things? Why can't we just experience them as they are, not cling to them, move on to the next thing? And I think the main reason is fear, a fear of losing control of who you think you are. The only people that have really overcome fear have recognized that they are eternal beyond death.
After all, you know, there are worse things in life than death. I mean, if you've ever spent an evening with an insurance salesman, you know exactly what I mean.
In matter of fact, in 1963, there was this Mahayana Buddhist monk who was protesting the treatment of Buddhists in Vietnam, the Vietnamese government. And he sat himself in the middle of a busy street and he set himself on fire. He didn't scream, he just sat there in the lotus position until he burned away. How could he do this? You know, how could he just do this for a cause? Well, he recognized that this was not his only being. This one little life was not his only experience in being. He knew that he was going to go on beyond death. He knew that he was going to live in another experience, and maybe another lifetime. It doesn't matter. He just knows that he can't really disappear.
And Nietzsche, with his theory of eternal recurrence, he said that the life we live, we're going to live over and over again the exact same way for eternity. Great. That means I'll have to sit through the ice capades again.
When you are that committed and you understand existence beyond your own current life, it's kind of amazing what you're able to do.
This is a day that you will always remember as the day that you...
Okay, so let me come a little bit more back to earth now. So, is that something that we're going to have to do? Probably not in this lifetime. Once again, here is a human being that was faced with a challenge and a decision, and he had an experience that most of us will never have to face. He definitely took one for the team. But it does give us pause, and it does make us have to think about, okay, with that kind of understanding that you're going to go beyond death, maybe, just maybe, it'll free us up a little bit to stop clinging to things, stop making the surface area things important, and start looking at the bigger picture. You know, we're in a very turbulent time. You know, your children will not be going through this turbulent time, but you will. You have the opportunity now to experience this fully and respond to it in a way that uplifts all of us and helps us all to ascend and benefits the collective.
You know, people used to think that I was funny.
Did that work for you?
All right, well, it's been lovely talking to you. Thank you for the books and for the horrifying story.
That's about all I have today, my friends. Thank you for watching. Keep in mind, these videos are only really halfway done. Before I hear opinions or comments or suggestions from you, please leave them in the comment boxes below. And as the man's about to say, let's get cracking.
Get cracking, you bloomin' cockroaches!